decision. There you go. This decision to pick up the map. So if you have a map, but you never read it, its value, benefit, and effectiveness is somewhat limited. And so right view, if we decide then that right view of these 8 noble interactions, 8 noble ways of relating, and remember they are holographic and intertwined, interconnected. They are not linear. And so that we don't get confused, one, when we take one wholly on, like right view, when we pay attention and become mindful of right view, that map creation element of us, we're actually making our map. And so the map gets made by a variety of factors, says these teachings. One is our karmic conditioning, what we have come from, where we have been, all that has come before has impacted us. Our parents, their parents, our cultures, our humanness in this world itself, the nature of mind, right? We could infinite factors contribute to this karmic conditioning in us. So be careful that we don't think if I was good, then it's all good. And if I was bad, then it's good. That's very simplistic and not very real. But that map becomes what is most important in this life. This is an overarching view. One says, overarching view, what is most important? Then we'll go on to investigate some of those conditions. What is most overarching? And then how do I live that? What choices do I make this very moment? All the way down from that big wide view, that big map, to all the way down to right now. And how do I live as a result of that? So I just saw Dennis, a chat from Dennis. I'm so glad it came up, Dennis. It said, today is your dad's birthday. Is that right? Well, what's beautiful about that is there's that big overarching reality, parent's birthday, right? And then we get to work with that, be mindful of that. Like, what does that mean to Dennis today? Right? What does it mean to Dennis today? And then interestingly, based on that, how is Dennis going to live today? What decisions, what actions, what qualities of mind is he going to pursue? And in right intention, by the way, the second noble eightfold path, with that very direction, we could call it directional, how am I going to choose to live? Well, something just magically came to mind for me, Dennis, when I was just saying that for you. And it was just a fun idea, which is I'm going to treat everyone I see today as if it's their birthday. Everyone. I'm going to say happy day to everybody as a celebration of this life, of this being alive, and of this possibility for this life. Right? And I'm in no way suggesting that that's Dennis's job. I'm not saying that this is what he should be doing. I'm saying how then, with these overarching truths, these realities, these historical contexts, I guess right? How do we then choose to live in this general moment? We'll call it the day. How do we just choose then to live episodic moment, the day? And then more interesting to me, how is Dennis going to live right now? Right now with that truth. And what is it and how do we live? Well, these teachings say a few things. One of the things they say, and then we're going to practice and look at it some more, is that these 3 elements are always at play. One's historical context, one's overarching intention for one's life, then the episodic, what's in this period of whatever you're looking at. I just said the word day. That would be one episodic consideration, maybe a month, maybe, well, right now in my family, for example, we're calling this the before wedding period. There's a lot of energies, there's a lot of intentions, there's a lot of, and I used that example. I'm going to ask you to come up with one today too, of what are some of those overarching principles operating right now for you? What are they? And then what's the episode in which you're investigating, inquiring, and looking at them? And then how are you living that now? Boy, those are big questions, aren't they? Is that huge? Then how are you living right now? Well, here's one thing I know as an example of this. You have chosen to be here. You have chosen today when I know Marie could be sleeping. I know, right, if Marilyn were here, Marilyn would much rather not be awake, right? These aren't good or bad things. But look, something acted. Yes, something acted in you, some intention, some map. And then you picked up the map today and said, I'm going to do this. This is important to me. And then I'm going to, right? And that's very meaningful. It sets the whole conditioning for the release, the renunciation, the restraint of moving in wrong or bad or unskillful or clinging directions, just satisfying one's clinging, versus what? Saying, well, I'm going to stay and practice for the whole time. I'm not just going to go eat my banana because I felt like having a banana. I'm not just going to get up and go make my coffee because I have my favorite coffee there. I'm not just going to turn this thing off and go do some sit-ups because at least that's productive. Right? I'm not going to. I'm going to actually, out of clarity of mind. And this mindfulness, one of the elements is this clarity and how it operates. And we're going to look at chapter 5 a little bit. But I think the practice itself. So when I was thinking for myself about what, if I was going to put a word to this right aspiration, right intention, right understanding, one of the ones I like a lot is right resolve. I love that. Right resolve, like some kind of momentum, right? Some kind of direction, something moving me on a path in a direction. And so if we understand this second noble factor, right resolve, right direction. Anybody think of any other words? Again, it's usually aspiration, intention, thought, and understanding. Those would be typical. I'm going to stay with right resolve. I like this idea of momentum, right, energy, movement for that. But I think we might get the idea. Yes, I would say what I just read here is right. So Dennis used a word like unclinging, not clinging. Denise, beautifully, non-reactivity. Marie, openness, right? She's using words like that. Curiosity, beginner's mind, maybe even. Wouldn't we need to bring some of those qualities to right intention? To set right intention, you would have to say, let me start fresh. Let me start here. Let me not come just with old ideas about birthdays or old ideas about how I should be, or right. And in Marie's case, a real relationship, relational right intention. How can I be open to this and not collapse into my old view? Yes, compassion will be the result, the natural result of right view, setting the map, creating the map, and now right resolve. How am I going to live this, be this, right? And the mind that is created. We've already just had a lot of balanced enthusiasm. Yes, I like that a lot. That's lovely. I want to read then, we're going to go into practice now, but I want to read during the practice, if I can find it here. Let me see if I can't pull it up. There it is. Let me see if I can't find a way to get here and save that. All right, I see me. I see all you. That's not. I got into a weird mode here. Let me see if I can try this again. All right, let me give it one more go. Yeah, see if this works. Not because I particularly want you to watch the words. This isn't working. Okay, it's not important. I was going to post them there for you, but that's not most important. I'm going to read some of the Bodhisattva dedication of merit. Most of you, unless you studied with us during the Bodhisattva, the Way of the Bodhisattva, and then with Chogyam's book, The Bodhisattva Path, I want to remind you that the practice is, how do I cultivate a life so clear of view, so balanced and energized, says Margie, that I never lose sight in any moment of what my true direction, my true path, my true. And if we did that, I'm going to say, that would be that place, and we're going to use some of the words you guys just came up with again. Those words again would be things like non-reactivity, non-judgment. I'm going to use the word non-addiction. That we would not be led then by patterns of wanting what we want, clinging to what we want, seeking, craving, grasping, being led by sense desire, it's called, or pleasure seeking, or security, or meanness, right? All of those things, that we would be acting from something larger, that overarching intention, one's true purpose, passion, path. And we wouldn't be caught. So then, just as my example, you could not find a reason not to practice every day. Let's just use that. Could you? You couldn't find a reason because the path is clear. Now, this isn't about a belief system. This is about your direct experience that says, when I am in non-clinging, I am at my greatest peace. You know this already. When I am in non-self-making, there I can truly settle into the present moment, right? We already know these truths. So there would be no way except for the clinging, craving nature of mind. The clinging, craving nature of mind. It says, but I want this and that. All right, I'm going to read a little bit. You're going to prepare to sit. Let's see if I can't pull that back. Here we go. And so preparing to sit, we actually ask really that you call these very things to mind. What is my greatest aspiration? Well, in the Buddhist lingo, but there's no one better than another, it says true, abiding, undying freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from that clinging, craving, wanting, and not wanting mind. But that's the overarching, to be free of suffering in this lifetime, and then to contribute to that possibility, that happiness, that ease, not only for oneself, but others. And we say that every single time we practice. How do you say it? May I find my ease so that I can contribute to the ease of others, both actively, intentionally, and by my very being. And then may we do so for all beings everywhere without intention, without exception, with complete intention, omitting. And so, how do we cultivate that map every day? And one of the considerations, besides practice itself, is study. Study. And so, I'm going to read a part of the dedication. I just want you to let it flow. Don't try to work into understanding. And then I want you to see this was identified as one of the biggest maps for the path of the Bodhisattva. Through the virtue of having composed this work, a guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life, may all living beings come to engage in this Bodhisattva conduct. May all beings everywhere, plagued with sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits, the merits of this very practice. For as long as they remain in cyclic existence, may their worldly happiness never decline, and may all of them uninterruptedly receive waves of joys from bodhisattvas. As long as we are alive, it says, may my blessings never decline, and may all joys continue uninterrupted. May all embodied creatures who throughout the universe experience hellish realms, suffering, may they come to enjoy the bliss of the present moment. May all embodied creatures throughout the whole of the universe and beyond, caught in those minds of wanting and not wanting, that's the hell realm, may they come to enjoy the bliss of this very moment. May those feeble and cold find warmth. May those oppressed with heat be cooled by the boundless waters that pour forth from the great clouds of these Bodhi hearts and their merits. May the forest of razor sharp leaves become a beautiful pleasure grove. May the trees of knives and swords grow into wish-fulfilling trees. May all that is suffering by our very practice, by our very intention, may they be relieved, released, and made whole. May the regions of hell become places of joy with vast and fragrant lotus pools, beautified with the exquisite calls of wild ducks, geese, and swans. May we enjoy the beautiful nature, the reality of that, not be so addicted in mind that we lose sight of all that is right here. May the heaps of burning coals change into heaps of jewels. These are all, see the burning? All of this is about this wanting, craving mind and its release. Can you hear it? Everything, ooh, where there's suffering, may there be ease, may there be joy, may there be settledness, may there be present moment awareness. And he goes on and on. I'll do a couple more just so you get the idea. But it's all about the same releasing, renunciation of that craving, addicted, seeking, wanting mind. May the burning ground become a polished crystal floor. And may the mountains of the crushing hells become celestial palaces of worship filled with the sugatas, that which is sweet. May the rains of lava, blazing stones, and weapons from now on become a rain of flowers. And may all battling with weapons from now on be a playful exchange of those flowers. No war, no aggression, only love and compassion. By the force of my virtues, by my very thoughts, words, and deeds, by my very right view, right intention. May those caught in the fiery torrents, here we go again, this burning up of acid, their flesh eaten away, revealing their lily white bones, obtain the bodies of celestials and dwell with goddesses in gently flowing rivers, once again towards calm, towards ease, towards release. Friends, don't be afraid, but quickly gather here. What need is there to flee when above us is the useful deities to dispel our fears? That's us, the tender bodhisattva who protects all living things, though whose might all suffering is removed, through whose might all suffering is removed and the force of joy abounds, that through this very practice, we will find the way to true joy, true ease, true happiness. So we get the idea. This is something like a 50 stanza dedication. I'm not going to go on, but you get this idea. Moving from that which is burning, that which is fiery, that which is hellish, that which is gripped, caught, to that which is in its release. We're going to do that right now. Just finding the way out of the thinking mind into awareness and experience of this body. And then this body breathing. And remember, we're finding a view, even right here. We're going to cultivate a map that includes the breath experience itself in a way that feels workable, manageable, viewable. And so as we turn from the body to the breath itself, let's just say, what's the view that's workable? Is it a small area in the abdomen? Is it the whole wide breathscape? The sense of the whole of the torso expanding and contracting? Let's just experiment, see what's true for you. With each breath, we're unhooking, releasing, settling back out of the cyclic existence, this wanting and not wanting, continuous, into simply the resting in the present moment. Notice your motivation to stay present. And see if you can sense the release happening each moment we are attending to the breath, not caught in that addicted mind of craving and wanting, clinging, and not wanting. See if you can feel that in the body. We release each in breath, we release each out breath. We abide the change, unmoving, non seeking, just here. We've already cultivated the map with the merits, the blessings, the review of our aspirations. And now we have the job of unhooking from the habited, addicted mind, just arriving here to the present moment. This requirement for release is necessary to break the addictive pattern and the addicted view, that wanting, not wanting. So we rest here simply in the breath itself. And we call the mind back on purpose with intention each breath. We'll call the first part of this meditation practice rehab, unhooking again and again. Can you feel the relief, the ease, the enoughness, not seeking or rejecting? The present moment is always sufficient. It is the plentiful feast, the wish fulfilling tree, the vase of plenty. Your greatest resources, inner and outer, are here. And from this place of ease, of wholeness, of boundlessness of mind and body, what is needed? And from the reality then of complete fulfillment, enoughness, then what is the overarching intention? What is the intention of this heart mind for your whole life? In this very present moment, all resources and the whole of the universe conspires towards that right view. Is it to be kind, to be peaceable, to be loving, compassionate, generous, patient? Is it to be a service, to be a contribution? to be out of suffering. And more than any language for those life scripts, those life purpose, I want you to just feel the place from which it comes, this place of that cool breeze, that warm glow, that enough, that settling, the easeful body, the open heart. And the clear seeing, non addicted, non craving, non habit natured mind. If we can drop completely into this present moment, this body like this, knowing these thoughts, these feelings, these images, this mind energy like this. And it's knowing. And this already complete, already whole, already most loving, most kind heart, the one that already knows. We're all real benefit. Comes. Unfettered, unbound, untethered, non clinging, non grasping, nothing to seek, nowhere else to be. It's all right here. Can you feel the release, the clarity, the openness that abides in this present moment? Only here. And may we offer this clear seeing mind, this radiant, open, boundless heart and the energies and capabilities of this very body. May we offer this to true happiness, abiding ease and peace for ourselves and all beings. Nothing else to have, to get, to buy, to win. This Buddha nature itself requires nothing else. May we all be happy, safe, healthy. May we all be well. May we have joy and peace. May there be peace. Beginning with you. One of the reasons we practice, and I don't know how to do this. I don't know what perfect means or not perfect. I just know that some amount of time every day to feel that, to set the map in place, and then choose to use that very map for every other thought, every other word, every other action that we commit ourselves each day will guarantee that we live in a kinder, gentler, more loving world. Will guarantee it without exception. So we're going to look back for a few minutes at some of the chapter 5. I think I'm going to go back for just a second into chapter 4. I'm going to just look. There was something there that I really caught me. There were a lot of practices offered in chapter 4. I put it all on you to take a look at that. I'm going to go back and see if I can find what I was thinking about. So this was one of the things I didn't talk about in Right View. I'll just share this and then we'll go forward. But this actually can be very easily misunderstood. And what this was written in a sutta as where to place the mind and how to do so. And it says here, there are two conditions for wrong view to arise, which two, the voice of another and inappropriate attention. That means placing the mind in the wrong place, putting the mind in the wrong place. The voice of another, I think, is interestingly not necessarily somebody else. I think it's that grasping, clinging, wanting mind going, hey, over here, this is where the caramel corn is. This is where the feeling important is, this is where the right feeling like you'll live forever is, whatever our habits. I think it's that voice and inappropriate attention, not recognizing that it's talking, not recognizing that there's a craving, wanting addict in your own mind, and also then, by the way, perpetuated by the mind of other co-addicts um, towards get it, right? And the other is the opposite. When we listen to the mind with appropriate attention, then you see and notice what is true, what is the Dharma, what is the conditions of the moment all playing. And we, that's called right view, that's the map. And we, the other is mindfulness, appropriate attention. I'm mindfully attending what's going on here. What am I seeking? Why do I think I need this to be okay? How does this contribute to the happiness of not only myself, but the whole of the world? And in fact, does it? And the answer mostly is no. No matter what warm woolly blanket we get, and it doesn't mean we shouldn't have them. This is not my point. This is not, again, a moralistic view. And it might be just the right thing to get enough sleep, for example, so that we are our best the next day. But we have to look at that carefully. We have to look at that carefully rather than just assume because I want it, it is good and will lead to the end of suffering. Not necessarily true at all. Mostly, they would say not true. We're going to flip over to 5 right now. I think I'm on my way. Here we go. Right intention, sama sankappa, is the word. Sama, remember, means wise, right, complete, good, fulfilling, best, whatever words you might come up with there. Sama and sankappa means caught, more like a resolve, thought. I'm trying to think of a couple others. Intention, aspiration. I think he lists some here. But here's where Gregory begins, and I liked what he said right to start. Behind every action, every single action, even every thought, behind every action and every thought, there is an intention. No intention plus no thought equals no action. No intention, no thought, no action. Right intention sits at the interface of mind and how we live. Right intention leads to right thought, leads to right action, which leads to right result, if you will, or next right intention, you could even say. Intention is also the aim of the heart, not just clear-seeing mind. That's right. Of course, it motivates us. It provides an essential emotional energy for us because of what we love. We frequently act based on what we love, and that motivation is really quite significant. I'd be careful to call it an emotion exactly, but I know there is certainly a felt sense to that. Let me go back and see what he was trying to say here. It is the emotional element that flows from right view and gives impetus to right speech, right action, and right livelihood. When we really get how suffering works, that wanting, craving, clinging, habit, addict nature of mind, how it is caused and how its causes can be abandoned. We just did that. How can they be abandoned? By gathering the attention, placing it on purpose, and then doing so continuously. That this is one of the essential methods or practices for unhooking, or as I said in the meditation rehab. It makes sense both emotionally and intellectually to apply that knowledge. The knowledge of what? The knowledge of the present moment, of the steadied mind. As a practice, right intention is implementing the understanding of right view, that's the map, to deliberately aim the mind. This is one of the largest practices, I believe, in right intention. To get to it, I think we have to essentially place the mind where? In that non-self clinging, non-self directed, non-self aiming mind, just as we did today. It manifests as the spontaneous emotional blossoming of understanding in a way that bears action as its fruit. We ultimately act from right view and right thought. I trust the actions that come from that. It is setting the mind rightly, correctly, wisely, boundlessly every day. That's a part of the reason for our practice, so that we can see clearly and then feel the vibrations of the right action. Right intention is both the big choice to use the map and the many smaller choices, just as I was saying to Dennis, that we use every moment, every day, and I believe recognize its guidance, recognize the benefits of it as well. Sometimes the map is known and accessed by the thinking mind. Known for sure, but I don't believe cultivated from the thinking mind. I would say, just to add that, because I don't want us going, oh, if I think this, then it's good, because it's no, not, there's a whole, we have to work into the non-addictive, non-clinging aspects before we can trust that right thought is also happening. One thought conditions another. We already know this. From one easeful thought, we're likely to create another. From one disrupted thought, we're likely also to create another. To work with intention, we need to first understand what the word sankappa means. We already talked about that, and purpose and plan are two other words. It will be aimed towards attitudes, actions, values that support the end of craving, of hunger, of ignorance, of thirst. These are all words that are used because we are blind and we have the brain-stemmed mind operating primarily from those places, those automatic pilot places, being led by often temporary hungers. In looking at right view, we saw the Buddha, how he divided thoughts into two groups. That's the right one and the wrong one. Ones that we place with intention, ones that we place towards the end of sense desire. Those are thoughts of renunciation, thoughts of loving kindness, and thoughts of compassion. Renunciation is rooted in wisdom, non-ill will or kindness in metta, and non-cruelty in compassion. Those are thoughts that these teachings say are always wise, always skillful. Thoughts of the end of craving, renunciation, not rejecting. That's not what it means. It means from that place of non-addiction. Will naturally lead, once again, we say this over and over, to kindness, to compassion, to what is most skillful, what is best not only for you, you as well, by the way, but others. And both are to be considered, you and others. It isn't an either or, there is no separation in right view. We know that when I am most skillful, others will be more skillful. When I am most kind, the potential for others to be kind also exists, and it's true, even when you don't see it immediately. He goes to give an example of something by his teacher. Sankappa, again, resolve, that's the word I like, or directing the mind. Another nice way of thinking about it, placing the mind on purpose from that place of being untethered, unbound, and non-self clinging. The mind is naturally directed by the views it holds. Even unreflected actions, however, are not wholly without intention. That is correct. I used to get super frustrated with my husband when I would say, I want to understand better what were you thinking, or what was the purpose of this, or what are you wanting even or needing right now? And he would say, nothing, nothing. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. There is no intention. And I'd be like, yeah, working up against my own sense of reality, which is, part of the beauty of partnership. Like, no, but there's always an intention, even when you aren't aware of it, even when that has not been made conscious, even when you have not mindfully attended to it, it is there. It is always there. And knowing something about the fact that it's there is really handy. It's really handy. What is the ultimate? And then also the relative point of this action, this word, this thought. Wow, I can't even imagine the lessened suffering with that level of mindfulness. Contrast this passive sense with direction's active sense, this placing the mind on purpose, involving will and volition, action. We can direct the mind actively, choosing how and where we offer our attention and towards what goals. It's one of the reasons we stopped having a television in our house. Where the attention was going, what amount of time was invested, and its benefits were becoming fairly clear that it was very small. And so we made a decision when we got rid of our gigantic console TV. Yes, they used to have those. That we would not purchase another. It doesn't mean we don't do stuff on screens, right? This is, again, not moralistic. Doesn't mean everything you watch is bad for you. It means, do you know, is this for relaxing? And then how much? Is this for information? And how much? Is this for joy, entertainment? And how much? Is this for distraction? And how much? These are just invitations for inquiry, and that's how that mindfulness is cultivated. Wrong intention. That's the one that is less mindful, less directed, less intentioned, without considerations for our larger overarching interests. What does he say here? The things could look like the image, sexual pursuits, remembering that sweet dessert, longing for other pleasantness. Again, it's not that the body mind doesn't do that naturally. It's that is it towards an addictive desire, or is it towards something that will be of benefit? I'm going to take a walk after this. Is that addictive? Not at all. I probably should do it more. Is there something wholesome of benefit in it? Yes. Do I have to spend a whole bunch of time ruminating about that? No, I feel pretty certain that out of that action for that amount of time, other benefits that I have as an overarching intention, my life's intention, will be better realized, right? Versus, any other action. Doesn't mean there aren't infinite other actions, which is why we don't name the actions themselves. Your job is to, with right view, contemplate a wholesome aspiration and intention, and then to be, look, is this going to serve? I think is, and in right thought, they're saying the thought itself is a great place to begin to look. Not wait for the action and or its unwholesome consequence, if that were the case, but to in fact look at what is driving, what is motivating that very speech, action, livelihood. With the mind directed towards acquiring and holding to the pleasant, it is its nature. Is there serenity? Is there peace? No, It's not possible. It's just seeking, wanting, craving, hungering for more. You can't buy enough video games. You can't drink enough martinis. You can't eat enough caramel corn to stay happy. It's just not going to happen. And we already know the truth of that, don't we? Being mindful of intention opens us up to possibilities for escaping old addictive patterns and shifting so that we are not operating from a fixed, limited would be another word, small personality, that we are capable of so much more than these fixed states, static traits, and that it in fact is not actually us. It would be a mistake to think so. The practice, I like this one. It was choose a place in your life that is in flux right now. Contemplate the stories you tell yourself about this. The running commentary on climate change, money, loneliness. We could add, of course, politics, the current situation in the Ukraine, arguments with the partner, unhappiness or unsatisfaction in one's work. We could use anything. Everything is in flux, so you could actually pick anything at all. And where do you find, within that flux, for me, where do you find stable mind? Where do you notice the mind that says, with beginner's mind, with curiosity, with the intention for the end of distress for me and others? Let me take a mindful look at this situation. How do these feelings orient the mind? Is it towards distress, towards upset, towards fear? Or is the thinking orienting you towards wholeness, towards interconnectedness, towards non-separation and non-addiction? Nothing to have to do, but possibilities for you and your life. What actions flow from this thinking? This is very important. What actions flow from this thinking? Very important consideration. So then, remember, I named it earlier in our conversation. Gregory breaks this down. I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but I like what he's really saying. And I said it before, but I'll repeat it. I think I'm going to go to the, I think he's got a little thing. Oh, I'm going way out of the way. He's got a little graph there. So what did I say about Dennis and his father's birthday today? I said, what's the overarching intention around that? Would it be in some way, these are examples, to simply honor his father, right? In memory, in recollections, in sending wishes or blessings of some kind. You know, what would that overarching intention be? And then to look at it as what's happening right now. How am I living this right now in this moment versus what's the mind's direction in this moment? That's this question that you can invite versus what's the larger context for that? What's the point of celebrating any parent? What's the benefit of honoring this parent? That could be more episodic in nature. How people celebrate birthdays could be a little episodic, right? But also connected to how am I doing it right now on the one side, and also what is my larger aspirations, which is that people be celebrated for their being, and that everyone is deserving of being honored for their goodness, whatever large or small amount that is, and for the possibilities of this human life, that is deserving of separation as well. He says, upon contact, The ignorant body mind reflexively grasps at experience to hold the moment near or to push it away based on pleasant or unpleasant. And the resultant tension is defined now as me. That wanting, not wanting nature of mind can too easily be mistaken as me. And then what? My rights, my needs, my desires, and that I am deserving. That's the I amness of things, he writes here. This freshly born me, with its archive of conditions, gives rise to impulses that lead to actions that we can't separate ourselves, is what he's saying here, from all those habits, all that time, all that's before, to tell you the truth, and now. We can choose to reinforce responses that support our larger scale intentions and to release those that do not. And to release those, that's a constant decision we're making, moment by moment. This or that. Lust becomes dispassion. Anger becomes compassion with that mindfulness. It goes on to give us other contact with these three spheres. Episodic, he's defining it here. At the next time scale, an overall direction that has been established for a specific task or social encounter. Episodic intention for one small episode in our lives. Like I said about Dennis's father's birthday, this day might be the way to define that intention. It might just simply be this conversation, this teaching, this plan for the day. Again, it's not, can be defined in many ways. A lot of people look at it as a day's intention, but as Gregory is saying, it can be task specific. Yesterday, I had an intention to spend some time with my son, and I thought about that beforehand, which is, what do I really want this to be? And my number one intention was easy. I just want it to be easy. I don't want him thinking or worrying about the wedding or what needs to happen there or not happen there, that I wanted to avoid conversations about that. Actually, I didn't want to be the one stimulating that stuff. I just wanted to enjoy the beautiful day. I think that was accomplished. And that was it, though we were golfing. The real intention didn't have too much to do with the golf, actually, at all. And of course, usually, as it goes, you can do better at those things when you're not over focusing on them. Translations of Sankappa, intention, aspiration, vision, resolve, words like that. Why am I doing what I'm doing right now? This is going to be the question this week. That's why it's in blue. Why am I doing this? Whatever this is. Why am I putting on these shoes? Why am I making this phone call? Why am I doing this task? Why am I agreeing to this social event or commitment? Why? What is it? What are the motivating factors? This is the question for the week. Why am I doing it? I want you to look at this in two ways. Why right now, one side of it, and why for my life? These are the two sides. Why right now? Why am I doing this right now? Why as it relates to the whole of this life? What's the absolute intention? What's the relative right now? Why right now? Why am I going to go on a walk right after Sangha today? And how is that contributing or relating or reflecting my own overall life's intention? Okay, get the idea? Why are we doing? The episodic is the moment you're in, and the specifics of that task. And the task for me, as an example, is walking. Episodic intentions can workable from the standpoint of practice. I gave an example of setting an intention for interaction, a task. That would be a very wise thing to do this week as well. I like that second practice, besides asking, why am I doing this? To actually intention in this next meeting, in this next phone call, with this next interaction, I'm going to purposefully, directedly set intention. Why am I doing it is the way to ask for that which is often unconscious, to bring it to consciousness, and setting on purpose. Intention, and I'm going to keep it not for the day, but for small interactions or tasks. Why am I doing it? And what is the intention? And setting them purposefully rather than having them be just by habit, which is I just do that every day. That's ultimately can be very unconscious and fairly unmindful. And also, why? What is its benefit? What's the value of this? There's the overarching intention. We thought of these as really life map. What is my life's direction is a kind of question. What is my life's value? What is the purpose, life purpose of this? This is also a statement by the Buddha that I wanted to talk about a minute. It says that ill will has to be a quality of mind, just so that you understand this, has to be a quality of mind in order to move towards acting out ill will, so that you already began in separation, you already began in judgment, you already began, there was the mind of this here to see that in the object. And so that when we say things like, that person made me angry, that is not true, that is not accurate. What is actually true is that there was the mind of ill will. There was the mind of separation. There was the mind of judgment. There was the mind of aggression, hatred there. And this action could have triggered it into manifestation, but not because they are the cause. In fact, we know certainly, absolutely, that is not true, that there is the mind. Joko once said to me when I was complaining about something, the mind of complaint can always find something to complain about. So do we get the idea of that? The mind of anger can always find a reason, a thing upon which to place the anger, but it is the quality of mind itself first and foremost. The mind of kindness finds its way to actions of goodwill. Just so we get a sense of that. I think let me just look here. I don't think overarching intentions, I loved that they are understood as vows, even when we haven't taken them formally, but they really take on that quality of consistency, the quality of momentum, the quality of unconditionalness in a vow. Like, I'm going to do this again and again and over because of its value. He said that people often bring others to mind, recollecting others as ways to, whether that's pictures of Jesus, statues of the Buddha, St. Christopher, St. Francis, Mother Mary, Taras, Tonkas, that these are ways of embodying, recollecting, remembering, and then embodying these very overarching qualities, values, and intentions. I think I'm going to stop here. Yeah. So I'm going to take a stop. I'm going to check in, make sure that we're understanding kind of the task. Is there a patron saint for clutter? Well, I love that, Jan. Actually, I don't remember who it is, but somebody here is Catholic enough to recollect this. There was when you lost stuff, you were supposed to call on a certain saint. And for whatever reason, I think it's Saint Anthony. But anyway, we'll have to find out for you. I'd say that's not a bad one to be working with. We've got quite a bit of clutter right here in our own house right now. That's on my aspirations and intentions. Simplicity, and less tasking around all that, right? Because it does take up a lot of time, a lot of energy, doesn't it? Just the maintenance of this stuff. Just the maintenance of the stuff, most of which we do not use. Most of which we do not use. But the wanting nature of mind that goes, but maybe someday I might need it, doesn't it? And can you feel the ick in that wanting that fills the shelves, the closets, and under the bed? That wanting mind. The wanting mind that Joseph Goldstein talked about when he was doing, he said, I have catalog mind. I look through ads, I look through Amazon, I look and just feel the craving nature of it, and looking for something to want. Looking for something to want. You don't even start wanting it. You just start looking in the catalog. Like, now I got to go find something, the wanting nature of mind. And that's how we all get to that cluttered mind, don't we? It's ultimately a cluttered mind. And its consequence is dis-ease. The consequence of that cluttered mind is dis-ease. So I just want to check in, see if we're understanding our two practices for today. One of them is why. Why am I choosing this right now, this action, this speech, this thought? Why am I choosing it? And what is its intention? What is its intention? That's the first part. Why am I picking it? What is its intention? And then the second one is, can I purposefully, with intention, set an intention around a way of being, a way I'm going to handle this conversation, a way I'm going to handle this walk that I'm going to go on, a way that what qualities am I intentioning to bring to the tasks, the interactions, the reflections, even that you have. That's the second part. Why am I doing this? And I suggested that further from Gregory's. He took it across the three times. Why am I doing it right now? And what is my overarching life purpose that nurtures? So, right, he's saying all of these relative and absolutes are important. Why am I doing this? Why now? And how is this nurturing this life? I'm looking in my closet going like, how did that happen? What is really in there that is nurturing my particular life purpose and passion? By the way, there are a few things in there. I will go to a few. I should throw out the majority of that closet. It's just old stuff that I've struggled to let go of. Is that going to be a benefit to me? Actually, the throwing it away will be, or giving it away will be. The keeping it not so much. I've got to keep that closet door closed, because the minute I open it, I go into some kind of overwhelm. Do I need to do that right now? No, because I've got a walk planned, and I think the walk has a more overarching value for me today since I have a big day. Might I set an intention, however, to deal with that closet sometime this week? Yes, I am actually. In fact, I've got Thursday in mind now as an opportunity for me to do a little decluttering. Will that be of benefit to my overall life arching, life affirming values and path? Yes. Pretty simple though, right? It's just a closet. And those closets reflect certain qualities of mind. So will that be a benefit? Absolutely. To me and others, absolutely. Is it worth investing in soon? Absolutely. It will mean, as I said earlier today, that we will have to give up some other addictive, habit-natured, likely behaviors. I will likely have to create some space in some way to get to that closet that I don't typically have energy or to do. What might that mean? I think maybe I won't schedule clients on Thursday. It's very easy for me to do. I've done it for 40 something years. Is it a benefit? Certainly. Could this even be of ultimately larger benefit? Probably. Yeah, I'm going to go with this. Okay, so do we get the idea here? You're going to drop in on an action, drop in on a thought, drop in on speech. Why am I doing this right now? What are the aspirations, intentions behind it? And then on purpose, also setting intention. Why now? And how does this nurture my overall life path? Okay, do we get the idea? I'll write this for you so that we're not so confused. It's really two pieces. One of them is practicing setting intention, but I want to keep it simple, small, and in the moment. This task, this interaction, not for the overall day, because we can lose ourselves in there, by the way. And to drop in on, I think, what may likely be slightly more habitual tendencies, things that we just do by habit, things that we just do because it's in the path of a day, but may not be truly nourishing, nurturing of your overarching life's intention and path. All right, everyone, how we doing? Can I see if there's anybody that's got a little bit at a time is actually right, Denise. That's why I want to do it just in the present moment rather than set larger goals of setting intentions for a day. I want to break this down to right now. Right now. So I'd like to take a moment. We've got just 2 minutes here left. I want to see if we can't just settle back for a moment into presence, mindfulness. Just invite the mind back to the body and back to the breath. And then I'd like you to check in on where you're planning to go from here, from this practice, from these teachings. What's your intention in this next transition? Where are you headed? I'd also like you to then think about, are you inviting a certain intention to that next activity? Are there certain qualities of heart mind that you are intentioning to bring to that task, that interaction. You might call those to mind. Right from this, I'm going to be speaking with my husband. I'm going to be taking a walk. I'm going to intention to bring some very purposeful, very intentioned connection and kindness to my husband. And I'm going to see if in that walk, if I can take a walk in a way that could be most wakeful, most mindful, and most attending, rather than be caught up in just mind thoughts. And may we offer the benefits and the blessings of this wholesome, complete intention and thought. May we offer this to the end of suffering. And the realization of true abiding happiness and freedom. Why am I doing this now? And may we all be filled with loving kindness. And may we be well. May we all have peace and ease. And may we be happy. Looking with mindfulness, with presence, with compassion and kindness at our addictive and non-addictive patterns. If we are mindful, we are already less habited, less addictive than just the moment before, even when we don't always like what we see, or can tend to then addictively move into what? Judgments, ill will, separation. Just notice these as habits of mind. It's the very next habit that can come when we are looking at our own lives and its experience. We're going to see if we can catch both. I look forward to sharing this with you next week. We're not going to rush on to chapter 6. We're going to take a little time and investigate this before we go on to chapter 6. So we're going to stay with chapter 5 another week. We are going to come back next Tuesday, look at intentions. What did you notice? How does that work? What happens when you purposefully said it? What happened when you forgot? We actually somewhat know the answer, because most of us have been looking at this a little bit together, but we're going to look at it a little more specifically this week in the ways. And I'll write that practice up for us today, in addition to giving my husband a hug and taking a joyful walk. That's what I've got on the agenda. I hope you are all well. Also, you're so welcome, everyone. Welcome. Dennis, I'll let you know. I'll write you today. I hope you're well. Good. Those are pretty easy things to handle. Dennis, you're going to be all right. I promise. I've had it done a couple times now, It all goes very well. Nobody likes it, anybody taking off anything anywhere, but it will be all right, I promise. They're pretty workable. No pain, no discomfort. I was pretty stunned by the whole thing. All right, everyone. May all of us be well this day. Take good care, everyone. I'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Greg will be here Thursday at 7. We'll continue our practice of stabilizing this mind so that we can see most clearly. We need one for the other. Make yourselves a commitment, whatever that is. Set the intention for practicing some of that every day. All right, everyone, be well. Mwah, mwah. Good to see you all.